Welcome everybody to the world tour of Galactic Science 2 for the date of the 3rd of October 2017. Right, we're going to start from the top of the world and we'll work our way down through the base. Sounds fair? Because actual quest-wise, haven't really made much progress. Because I'm beginning to realize from the last world tour of the quest that we wanted to actually do. Actually, no, I did actually complete this quest. Give me fuel, the fuel drum. We managed to make the fuel drum. We were able to fill said fuel drum, but then the items after that were a lot more difficult to make. So I did a lot of infrastructure work over the past week. Namely, as you can see on the moon here, we have a quarry plus quarry, just basically skimming off a maximum size quarry that it can do. I didn't enchant it for any like efficiency or doubling, whatever. I couldn't care. I just needed more resources. So at the moment, that is just skimming the top layer of basically the moon turf off the top of the moon, and we're getting a lot of Enderium dust and that sort of thing for ender pearls for whatever I decide to make them with. Right now, there's something else that I was toying with, and I did in fact actually do. I have made a mob room on top of the pyramid, because we needed items. I needed items from monster generations, considering I just taken out the inside of the basement where I was actually getting mobs to spawn. I had to kind of replace that. So if we just break off a little doorway in here, we can show you on the inside. The turrets that were on top of the pyramid to start off with, I couldn't move them, so I decided we'll just build a room around them and place some. Is that actually set? That one's not set. Oh dear. No, Ray. Click that. Yep, shift, and hopefully that one. Yes, there we go. That's now actually accessible by the Applied Energistics Network. So, using open block hoppers just to collect the items so we can use them later on. That's all good. So let's just patch that back up again so we don't have any leakage. At the moment I'm playing it in peaceful, due to the fact that I do have a few dead spots in the factory floor that monsters still can spawn, so I don't really have anything able to protect me. Right, so moving on down, we still have a few little remnants of the old system. Ah, damn it! I knew I had a synthesis machine for this, and I couldn't remember where it was, but I've actually made another one. Never mind. So in here we've still got a little bit of the hangover from the legacy system, where we're synthesizing like butene here, also isoprene. Fun fact: those two chemicals you can actually get from sifting Mars cobblestone, which I am doing, but just whenever I actually need these chemicals. Actually, I do need both of those chemicals to make rubber for IC2. They're actually in the auto crafting side of things. So moving right along, so that's a gold decomposer. That should be a silver one, so we've got access to those chemicals. The fluix and crystal setup, that's pretty much it's stable where it is. Now, I have a slight problem here, which we're gonna fix. How am I gonna do this? Yeah, storage bus. Connect them up to there. Turn my electric magnet back on again. Because by the looks of things, let me see. That's the okay. Actually, we're just going to shove the butene and isoprene in there, just so we get a little bit of extra space on my person. Grab some tubes. I don't know if I actually got any capacity. Oh, they're only liquids. Slight little problem there. I'll have to figure that out, because we'll do some troubleshooting on our way down. So let's place that back in there. For some reason, my farms have decided to stop working again. For what reason? I'm not entirely sure. Right, as you can see here, we've retooled the metal casters here to make the insulated copper for our IC2 circuits. All plugged into AE2, so I wasn't really going to actually move the whole setup. Just pretty much brought it back down into where it is now. Made it a little bit more tidier. The farms. What the hell's going on with the farms? Oh. I'm suffering a bug occasionally when I load up my world. My cactus farm will not work. I don't know why, but it just won't. And I really have got to... At some stage, there is an augment that you can actually make to destroy the secondary item coming out of photogenic isolate or any thermodynamics machine. I'm definitely going to have to make that for that particular machine, I think. Yeah, maybe we'll just remove the integrated redstone circuit, because potatoes, we need the potatoes for that potassium to make our potassium nitrate. But there, the old poisonous potato, we're still getting a fair amount of. Now, moving right along, actually coming back this way, all the legacy farm system is, I feel, is probably going to stay the way it is. It works for the meantime, but when I actually start thinking about upgrading the amount of what we need to make farm-wise, then I'll probably rip them out. At the moment, it's fine where it is. We've still got all this quadruple compressed cobblestone from the legacy system. Haven't decided really what to do with that. One thing that I have done is actually use my Ender IO fluid tank, and we're slowly drip feeding water back into... I don't know. Yeah, don't know if it's actually filling into that tank, or is actually taking the water back into here, into the applied energistics network as the actual fluid water into the fluid cells. That's more likely what's happening. Right, so... Oh, man. Yeah, that quarry, she's on the move. Nothing much else has changed here. The farms are still going, so that's great. So upstairs, not a hell of a lot has been happening. The Ender Quarry, not the Ender Quarry, the Quarries Plus on Mars is still ticking along quite nicely. I haven't, again, I think those are very much the basic tiers of farms. I don't really need speed, I just need consistency, and that's what I have there. We have these items just ticking in quite nicely. When they stop ticking in, then I'm going to have to basically go back to Mars and say, oops, okay, time to move. Okay, as you can see on this floor here, all the crafting processes are gone because we've moved them down here. There was a very interesting bug that I actually, due to the fact that I use so much AE2 machinery, while with the flux ducts that we have here, for some reason, yes, it's an unlimited supply of AE2, but somewhere between the energy acceptor and transmitting that power out from the energy acceptor, maybe the energy acceptor only has a certain buffer of power, but I had run so many AE2 machines, the whole network was shutting down, and I couldn't figure out why until having a little bit of discussions with, I think, Chetwind, who, when I actually gave him my world file, funny little story, nearly melted his computer. So you can see what I've been doing with my worlds is pretty intensive. So we moved all the crafting processes down here. One thing that was suggested, which did work for a small period of time, was that making these crafting coprocessor units. They have actually made my auto crafting a lot faster. So we've got a a 12 kilobyte crafting processor here with coprocessors on them. We got two 2K crafting processors and two 1K ones. Now, to get over my brownouts for my AE2 system, I happened across the answer, and that was to make energy cells. While the energy in the energy cells, they're not fluctuating, they're giving the AE2 system that energy buffer so it won't brown out and basically collapse on itself. So if you're having troubles with your AE2, install these. They will help. Okay, also I put some crafting monitors on here because it's actually kind of interesting to know what's ticking along. As you can see, I'm auto crafting the isoprene here, and occasionally we're getting cobblestone cropping up. Right, so what does the machine know how to make now? The machine itself knows how to make cryo flux ducts. Let's go over to that little system. We'll explain all that in a second. So this little setup here, we've got one fluid transposer that's set for destabilized redstone. That has got crafting patterns for the redstone flux ducts and also bliss powder. I've set up a synthesis machine to make electrum, a couple magma crucibles to actually give us destabilized redstone, because I didn't actually have anything. I didn't actually have a store of destabilized redstone. The only destabilized redstone I was getting was from the sifting that I had set up previously, but that's all changed. So this is my main source of destabilized redstone. Also this magma crucible down here, cryolithium dust, which is also made with the bliss powder, as you saw back up in the fluid transposer, plus a few other bits and pieces, snowballs. I've also tapped into that little process. And then we've got all this cryolithium sitting there waiting to go when I say I want some cryolithium cryolithium flux ducts. If I want them, it's all there, ready and waiting to go. Alright. Hey, hello Cat, how you doing? Welcome. Now, as you can see, the lava production has been upgraded, so we're definitely not losing out on that. And also we've expanded on the magma crucibles here to process the moon, I think it's moon dirt that we get from our quarry to make oil. The magma crucible down here, that's taking the biochaff from over this way. These are excess things. We'll get into that in a second. I've expanded to many more photogenic isolators. Now, for some reason, this has particularly stopped. Oh. Aha. I have the chest that we have here. Now, hopefully, we should start seeing some hydrogen disappearing. Or eventually, anyway. If you're setting up storage buses, especially for just to extract out of, say, a chest of an output, I strongly suggest setting the actual buses for extract only. Right, let's just store some of this crap in here because I don't need it. Right, the other thing that was... I had a little bit of a wee meltdown. I'll actually... post a link to the clip of the stream that I had the meltdown in. I was toying around with the idea of producing power with Ender IO. I wanted just to try doing the whole VAT rocket fuel hooch type thing and see power-wise what Kathleen did. Kathleen indeed actually tweaked those value settings for, say, the... let me think. Ender IO. The zombie generators. I'm looking for them, but I'm not seeing them. They're here somewhere, but the Stirling generator was tweaked. So I was just curious. I wanted to find that out, and I really wanted to make electric. There we are. Yeah, zombie generators. I wanted to see how much power those things would generate. I just wanted to know. But to make those, we needed electrical steel. Now, with electrical steel, this is the cause of my meltdown. Induction smelters got taken out. Alloy smelters have been taken out. Casting tables are still in. Metal casters would have been fine, but to get liquid electrical steel, you needed metal infusers. Guess what? You can't make those either. Hence to my quote in the clip from that live stream. Yes, it was a really dark time for me where my filter on my language just totally crumbled and I started swearing like a true Australian. And from then on, my grasp on my ability to hold my tongue when it comes to wanting to swear has been loosened somewhat. So... not really a spoiler warning for the people that are coming to stream. I'm not really as clean as I make myself out to be. I will swear like a trucker, as it were. But anyway, getting back to the electrical steel, you can use the casting tables. Thank you to, again, I think it was Chetwin who saved my sanity in that regard. We were able to set something up here with the casting table. We are using an ME interface with one silicon from the SAG mill from upstairs. That's actually that setup is actually placing the silicon on the table. We have the liquid iron, which I think I had to set up another induction smeltery, I believe, to get the right kind of metal to be poured onto that, and then we're just extracting the electrical steel off the table itself. That little setup works like a charm. Okay, so moving right along, of course, with the Quarries Plus quarry setup, I realized I really need to actually step up my ability to process all of the moon rock, all of the moon, well, the moon dirt is going straight to oil, and all of the moon turf. So I taught the machine how to make more autosieves. Now actually, you can't teach the machine how to make, you can't autocraft autosieves. I had to do these manually. So now we have a little tree of hard workers that are basically processing, yep, again, Mars cobblestone. There is a bank of those happening. And we have this little bank of workers, they're processing moon rock. And these processors are going hard, making Mars cobblestone as well. I believe there's actually one guy down here, he's stuffed full of nether quartz, seeds, and lapis. Probably going to have to really start pulling those and converting them straight into crystals. But with those setups, I decided we are going to get as many crucibles as we can and have dedicated machines to each individual ore. Now, as it turned out, the amount of ores the ore spread that we were having coming in from the sifted moon, not moon dirt, moonstone, you were getting more of a distribution, more leaning towards iron. So I had to actually set up 2 iron, or actually I've taken some of my legacy resonant magma crucibles and set them up strictly for iron. And the system seems to balance out. Every other metal has the resonant, or the reinforced magma crucibles. And so there you have it. Those were my adventures for the week since the last world tour. Where am I going to go from here? I don't really know, to be honest. I think we are definitely going to go off the beaten track. I really want to find out, did Kathleen indeed tweak any settings for the zombie generators? And if not, why not? And probably make a suggestion for said things. Alright folks, if you've enjoyed the video, click the like button. If you want to see the VODs for the actual fun that has happened since the week past, the last link to the VOD for the last the link for the VOD prior to this video will be down in the description. Also, the link to the clip where I actually just absolutely have a total meltdown, that's also going to be in the description also. I've been Raetac. I'll see you next time.